All right, let's take a look at Savage Hunters. So this is the list that guy was playing, and it seems to deal a lot with sacrificing your own creatures in order to get life and other benefits. So let's take a look at it. Corvold, Fey-Cursed King. It's a legendary creature, Dragon Noble. Noble is a creature type. Why have I not seen nobles? Like, usually they're advisors or something. Anyway, he's flying for 4/5. When he enters the battlefield, you sacrifice a permanent, put a +1/+1 counter on Corvold, and draw a card. Okay, so this is a deck that has like eggs and food and shit, so it seems like you're gonna have plenty of things to sacrifice. Whenever Corvold, Fey-Cursed King enters the battlefield, blah, 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 enters the battlefield or attacks. Enters the battlefield or attacks, sacrifice a permanent. Whenever you sacrifice a permanent, put a +1/+1 counter and draw a card. I'm assuming commander damage is a thing in this, right? Like if they take 21, then they lose from my commander. So I know that that's not what I'm supposed to be going for here. I think that I'm supposed to be really just playing around sacrifice stuff. But if this guy swings, you know, 4 times unattended, then they lose, right? 4, 5, 9, 16. 20, yeah, 4 times will be it. But he's not going to get to swing that many times. There's no way. Mortify will come out on that other list we just played. Some sort of removal will happen. So what is it that I want to do? I want to play around the second clause. Whenever you sacrifice a permanent, put a +1/+1 counter on him and draw a card. And the big thing about it isn't necessarily even the +1/+1 counter that'll finish them. It's that draw a card. It's an engine. So is a 6 mana engine with a potential creature threat enough. He's also a draw card on entry. If we sacrifice something, and we have plenty of ways to get like little garbage tokens to give up and sacrifice. So let's take a look at what we got going on. Witch's Oven, sacrifice a creature, create a food token. If the sacrificed creature's toughness was 4 or greater, create 2 food tokens instead, and this is on a tap ability, no mana cost. I quite like this actually. I think that the food tokens offer a lot of flexibility in these sacrifice-based decks, and if they don't do anything else but sacrifice themselves and, you know, gain some life, especially with a Corvold on the board, hey, I'll take it. I think it's 2 mana to sacrifice, and I think you gain, it's 3 or it's 3 or it's 4 life. I don't remember which one, but either way. Orzhov Enforcer in the list, Afterlife, Death Touch, classic card, very good and limited. Once again, this card is so annoying for people to handle because the stat line is beefier than you'd expect a Death Touch that has an upside on it to be. I mean, a 1/2 that creates a 1/1 on death and has Death Touch is just great. What else we got going on? Priest of the Forgotten Gods. This thing is really good at keeping the opponent's options limited. The card draw that you get out of it is quite nice and keeps you having the ability to get more creatures in order to sacrifice. And this 2 mana actually a lot of times has ended up putting me in a sticky situation against my opponents, especially because the ability itself doesn't cost mana to do. It's not a refund, it's a potential ramp and removal and draw at the cost of 2 creatures. So this card is pretty powerful, especially in this list. Goblin Crater Maker, 2/2, sacrifice it, destroy target colorless non-land permanent, or deal 2 damage to target creature. Destroy target colorless non-land permanent. This thing, wait, and he's got no tap ability, so, you know, your opponent plays their Ugin down, and he's just like, mysteries, or whatever he says. Unraveling the world's secrets. And then he goes, you come in with your Goblin Crater Maker, and you just knock that guy out, apparently. I didn't realize that was the thing you could do. Paradise Druid has Hexproof, yep, ramp, Woodland Champion, +1/+1 counters when you create a token. Wonderful in a deck that creates tokens. Dreadhorde Invasion. Hey, always have something to sacrifice every single turn, and if it gets big enough, go in for some damage. Mask of Immolation, we just played with this. Sacrifice a dude, ping 1 damage. Problem with Mask of Immolation here is we don't really have the reduction on the equip cost, so that's going to make it not something that we chain with, but it's something that we use as a way to get value after chump blocking or something like that. Arcane Signet, this is going to be in every single one of them. Get the mana you need, ramp a little bit. Very good. Golden Egg enters the battlefield for 2, draw a card, sacrifice it to add 1 mana of any color, so it's a little bit of fixing, and or sacrifice it and you gain 3 life. The 3 life sacrifice isn't going to be used. This thing is going to be sacrificed definitely into Korvold if I have my way. I'm like never going to use this thing for fixing. I'm very, very surprised that our opponent last game didn't even attempt to play Korvold at all, even when our hand was almost empty. Didn't go for the extra draw, but I guess it's because Moldervine Reclamation was already doing the deed for him, so they didn't care too much. Going on, Kranko. Oh no, sorry, Plaguecrafter, then Kranko. Plaguecrafter, this is a very good card. That's kind of annoying when your opponents have like larger individual creatures that they, you know, want to sort of get over you with, get over top of you with. Otherwise, you know, sometimes it takes out, you know, I don't know, like a 1/1. It gets their 1/1 and you get your 1/1 off the board, that sort of thing. We're really trying to hope to get some extra value off of any sacrifice. So I'm really not trying to play this without an additional benefit somewhere else, unless they just have an isolated creature or planeswalker that's got to go. Kranko, 1/2, put a +1/+1 counter on it, then create a number of red goblin creature tokens whenever this guy swings, so equal to its power. So these tokens are going to be great fodder for us to sacrifice. Kranko itself is so hard to keep alive without a haste effect or something like that. Typically you see him play it alongside, I think it's Samet's Sprint, giving a creature like haste, and it's like either +1 or +2 attack, so he can go in immediately. Otherwise, this guy just dies to so much stuff. But in a format where the decks have been predetermined and the points don't matter, he might have a chance to survive and actually turn sideways once or twice. Evolution Sage, whenever land enters the battlefield under control, proliferate, so this is great if we're able to get counters on our guys. So if we are able to get counters with where's our counter? I guess Rhythm of the Wild and counters. We'll proliferate at some point. I guess we'll proliferate our commander and Pollenbright Druid's target and Kranko and whatever we can get with Rhythm of the Wild. So it's something like that. First time doing this Commander-esque style. You like this format? Yeah. Commander is largely regarded as one of the most fun formats that you can play in Magic the Gathering, because the decks feel really unique. There's a wide spread of variants that can happen. It's really cool. Is the Commander recast rules the same in Brawl? Yes, it's +2 each time you cast it from your command zone, which is it can get pricey. So the fact that these guys are 5 mana makes it a little bit difficult once after the first cast. I've got to be a little bit careful and make sure I can really get value out of this guy once he comes down. You also get a free mulligan, really. I did not know that. Did not know that at all. MD coming in with some of the knowledge that's out there. Tilted that they're making me play with unmatched basics. I guess they're just trying to show off all of the art, the land art that they have for the set, but I understand where you're coming from. Some of these lands are kind of clean. Hey dude, good luck and have fun. Draft, or a Daft Woolly. What's up, man? Alright, let's see, let's continue going through this. So we got through Evolution Sage, Thrashing Brontodon, sack it to destroy a target enchantment or artifact. Classic, classic. The new cards are amazing. I love the new mechanics. Yeah, they've been pretty fun so far. Other creatures you can get +1 attack whenever a non-token creature you control dies. Scourge Diva deals 1 damage to any target. So in a deck that I think is going to be a little bit focused on tokens. We'll see how that pans out, but we do have a lot of non-token creatures that generate other token creatures, so we'll see how that ends up working. Whenever a player sacrifices a permanent, Mayhem Devil deals 1 damage to any target. This is going to be a bread and butter in our deck if we can get Witch's Oven going, if we can get our Korvold on board, that sort of thing. This dude, I think, can end up doing a lot of work for us, so we'll see how it ends up panning out. I think my opponent last game had to chump block in order and lost his early on, but I want to do what I can to hold on to mine. Leyline Prowler, 3 mana, Mana Dork, And you know what? This is not really a mana dork per se, because like a mana dork is usually a 1/2 mana creature that's got a kind of a janky stat line. It's really only meant to ramp. But a 3 mana 2/3 lifelink death touch creature isn't bad inherently. So he's kind of more of a mana Chad, you know, when you really think about it. Pretty cool dude. We'll see how he ends up doing the dang thing. Savvy Hunter, 3 mana 3/3. Whenever it attacks or blocks, create a food token. Sacrifice 2 foods to draw a card. This card seems good, to say the least. To say the very least. Whenever it attacks or blocks. Have you figured out the new adventure mechanic yet? Yes. Adventure works on split cards. The way that it works is you can either cast the sorcery or spell effect and exile the creature to do so. Then from exile, you may play that creature later. So it's a way to get extra dual value out of your cards from your hand. So you do in fact get both of the things that are on the card. So it's actually really, really good against control lists is what I'm thinking. Because anything that allows you to attempt to cast, they counter, and then you get to use that same card to try to do an effect again is very, very good against control. Rhythm of the Wild, the classic. We've got Riot, creatures can't be countered. Good stuff. Vindictive Vampire. When another creature you control dies, Vindictive Vampire deals 1 damage to each opponent and you gain 1 life. Notice that this does not say non-token creature, it says any creature. So this is actually going to be very good whenever we sacrifice things. We want to ping the opponent down, Golgari Findbroker, go get another permanent from your graveyard, put it in your hand. What are we trying to recur with this? I think we're trying to save any of our Chads from the graveyard whenever we get this. Either a destroyed Rhythm of the Wild that needs to come back, Dreadhorde Invasion that needs to come back, saving a Priest of the Forgotten Gods. We've got some targets. I think that what'll end up happening is I'm gonna get baited by something. I'm gonna get like a Krenko back and I'm gonna feel sad about it because I should have gotten something that's way more important. But we'll see how it is. Baked into a Pie. Destroy target creature, create a food token, instant speed. We'll see how this goes, man. Common, actually in the common slot is Murder's a common card, I guess. So is a food token worth 1 mana? Is that what they're trying to tell me? I don't think it's worth a full mana. I think that the dual effect probably makes up for like 3/4 of a mana. I think a food token's probably end up worth being like 1/3 or 1/4 of a card. It's a limited card, yeah, for sure. But I'm just trying to determine what like the approximate mana value of a food token is. Like when I see food on other things in my mind, how much of the mana cost should I attribute that to? 0? Interesting. Angarath, Captain of Chaos, creatures of control have menace, you can amass 2. Death Sprout, ramp a little, destroy a thing. Sir Conrad the Grim, we just played with this guy. Food tokens are nice as sacrifice from your commander. Yeah, and I think there's going to be a much more of a sacrifice theme happening here, and I think the food tokens are going to end up being a larger factor than just being things that are there. Rapacious Dragon. When enters the battlefield, create 2 treasure tokens. This card actually is underrated. I played this in like limited maybe a month ago. But I actually like this quite a bit. The 2 treasure tokens offers a lot of flexibility. And I quite like it. In a pinch, you can gain life by sacrificing them. That is correct. Moldavine Reclamation. This is like our card draw engine. Also, is going to keep us alive like that other guy. Hopefully. Find Finalities in this list. Oh, God, we got power cards here. Izoni the Thalcynide. When it enters the battlefield, get a bunch of dorks to sacrifice. You can gain life and draw a card with them. So quite good. Or her. I'm gonna go with her. She's looking angry. Blood-Soaked Altar. 6 mana, pay 2 life and discard a card. Sacrifice a creature as well to create a 5/5 black demon creature token with flying. Activate this ability only anytime you could cast a sorcery. And it's gotta be a creature. Sacrifice a creature. Discard a card. The discard's going to be interesting. I mean, we've got some refill mechanics. This is going to come down whenever we have 2 means of drawing. If we have both a Corvold and a Moldervine, somehow, then I'm using Bloodsoaked Altar pretty much every single turn. Altar is such a bomb in 2020 draft. That makes sense, though, right? Because how many cards in draft Yeah, there's a lot of cards in draft that just aren't as good as a 5/5 flying Black Demon creature token. Thorn Mammoth, an elephant. 7 mana 6/6 with trample. Whenever a Thorn Mammoth or another creature enters the battlefield under your control, Thorn Mammoth fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. So if I create 3 Saprolings, which I don't really have the ability to do in this, but if I were to, then he fights 3 guys. If I if I have Kranko on board and I turn him sideways to make 4 kobolds, I can fight their entire board. Is this May? Oh, it must fight. Okay. Those fights resolve simultaneously, or their targets are applied simultaneously because the tokens are applied simultaneously. So what I can do is I can choose targets, choose the same target multiple times and have it survive that way. Yeah, so that's interesting too. Right, and then after that we got lands. Any interesting lands in here, or are we just same kind of generic mana base? You got some Scry, got some gain life, got some enter the battlefield tap. Gotcha. All right, let's go for it. So let me put a marker down. End of deck 2. Peak. Blam. All right, let's see what we got going on. Savage Hunter. Lego. Alright, I feel like this one's going to be much more difficult than the first one. Seems like most people are probably going to be playing this first night's deck. They are interested in winning. Free mulligan. I'll take it. Okay, this is doable. Enters tapped. Okay. I'm looking to get my Bull Guild Gate and Jungle Hollow down immediately. Stomping Ground, Leyline Prowler will come through. Stomping Ground Kranko is probably the play, actually. Sure. Do I Stomping Ground? I don't need a Stomping Ground. I can Command Tower. Kranko. Okay, cool. So we don't have to worry about any removal here. He could have held up maybe what's that one that allows us to, or allows him to kill our guy. Response Resurgence. But that's not happening, it appears. So how do I get the most ramp? How do I get the most ramp out of what I have? I want to play Corvold immediately. As soon as possible, it needs to come down. The hammer is bad news. His commander can equip it for 0 on any night. Yep. I think I'm going to go Leyline. That way it doesn't get removed. I'll go Leyline, Golden Egg. What is your play, sir? My Kranko is already getting out of control. I know your deck has no board wipes, so what will you do, sir? down. This only applies to non-token creatures. You can't fool me, dude. Sure. Does playing this pre-combat do anything for me? Not really. I'm cool with this trade. Does this draw me a card? I'm not interested in gaining any life whatsoever. I can still cast it next turn. So his Mortify is down. What other things does he have? He's got Mortify. He has Response Resurgence. He has Obnix's Cruelty. In terms of spot removals, I think that might be it. Okay. Sure, when that occurs. Woo!
You're just fuel for the fires. Ramming speed!
I really want to hold on to my kobolds as much as possible. And the reason is because I want to use Taste of Death. I want to have fuel for my Blood-Soaked Altar. There's a lot of stuff that I want to be able to do. Sure, that's a soldier, not a knight. Interesting. Pay 2 life. Like a dude costs 9. I only have 7, so I'd have to hit a land drop if I want to use Leyline Prowler and recast it. I don't think I should be concerned about trying to cast my commander again. It's only 1 card draw. He's actually used 2 spot removals though, so I'm getting to a point where I can just go. I can just go, but I think Blood-Soaked Altar might be the play. Yeah, that's gonna be my chosen move here. Sacrifice a creature, this guy. I can only do this at sorcery speed, so...
Come on!
kind of okay with Angaroth dying here, too. I think I've come to terms with it. I need to keep these 1/1s down as chumps. And once again, as means to really disrupt any equipment he wants to throw down. His commander's also got Menace. So the second he plays... a third creature, I want to throw down Taste of Death. Okay. He's giving up. Cool. Nice. Alright, so... 1 win. Went pretty well. We hit all of our land drops pretty well there, and I think that's what landed us the victory. I think if we had gotten stuck not being able to play our commander from our hand, we would have felt pretty bad. But that didn't occur, so it was good, man. Everyone is playing the Knights list. Gotcha. Can I do stuff with this? I can't do too much with this. I think I have to mulligan. It's kind of a do-nothing hand. This is a more do-something hand. I've got Judith. I only have 2 of my colors. It's kind of lame. I'm gonna keep though, because I don't want to go down. No, I could have gone down a card. First mulligan was free. I forgot. Like, I've got 3 cards that I can't cast. I should be more willing to go down lower. Okay. If we get a green source, we can play a Savvy Hunter. If we get it this turn, we can go Woodland Champion. Lots of things can be done here. I might lose to my own hubris. Probably should have mulled a second time. Gotcha. You know what? Venerable Knight, actually a very good combination with Boros Mentor decks. For dies, you put your Mentor guy up 1 more. You feel good about life. Okay, he'll go in with just this. Okay, then I feel no pressure to block. That's fine to me. Right. Yep. Okay. The second that I get a green source, I'm in it. The second he gets a black source, he is in it, dude. Look at us. We're terrible players. Okay. This is the move. Oh, thank God. If I do this, I can ramp out a Moldervine. Am I going to die? Not yet. He has no equipments. I think this is the right move. I need to get like a Moldervine down. I need something that's going to help me fuel my draws. And also things are starting to get a little bit scary. I have to eat it. Okay. So what does this mean for me? This means I can play my Moldervine and have a blocker. assuming that's all that it means. I have to be very careful. He does have, like, flash and stuff. Tajik. Tajik comes down. No mana for a first strike. Comes in anyway. Okay. I'll get rid of his Tajik here, or attempt to. Bake into a pie is instant. Okay, so this is 4 mana. I have 5 mana available to me. Is it better to just play a creature? Nope. 90% sure that it's the better play just to remove one of his. I also get a food token off of this. It's 2 mana to sacrifice. I can play out my commander, sacrificing a permanent and giving me a blocker. Let's try it. This land. If he has removal here, I'm dead. Maybe this isn't the best line. If he has to stop, not even removal. If he's got a way to stop my block. Okay. It's the only land I have. Play this out and not cast it. I can bake into a pie. That doesn't give me the life I need. I need one of my guys to die. Can I bake and play a creature is the question. Why would he use this? Okay, no, that makes sense. I can threaten. I think I have to hold up my bake. I'm 90% sure I do. We could just be dead though. Tournament grounds. That's cool. Knight's Charge. Do I have a means to sacrifice? No, I don't. I think that's it. Yeah, let's game it. I don't have enough mana to eat a food. Dang it. Yeah, I took a bad hand early. I should have mulliganed a second time. I could have been fine there. I'll play one more round with this and move on to the next list. Alright, so we're both Jund boys. Trying to sacrifice our stuff for benefit. This is a quite good opening hand to me. This is very good. Yeah, let's go. This doesn't get much better than this. Not at all. Alright. Wait, what? It's got summoning sickness. What am I doing? Like, I was like, I have a creature, I'm gonna go to attack, it jumped to second main, I thought I was going to... That's my bad. I'm dumb. I'm gonna do the shameful thing and just play him now. I could have been swinging this turn and getting benefit. God. It's got summoning sickness, what am I thinking? No way you go for this trade. He does. He wants to reset my... Okay, I'm cool with it. He wants to reset my, like, my MS. Get some white. Yeah, Dreadhorde Invasion, turn 2. Just carries. I can't believe I messed up that play. Just not even recognizing that I've got Summoning Sickness and trying to go to swing. Alright, Savvy Hunter, part of the collection now. I think this guy's gonna be cool. Whenever it attacks or blocks, create a food token, sacrifice 2 foods, take draw a card at no mana cost. Alright, let's take a look. Next one, and I'm going to just jump to the chase here. Actually, I'm going to put a marker first.